Calling the order.
Mike Noel,
Present.
Michael Guthrie,
Present.
Anthony Campbell,
Present.
Stacy Oakham,
Here.
Trevor Warner,
Here.
Mary White.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Invocation. All right.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda? Should I have a change in one week unless you guys see me?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
Michael Guthrie,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Oakham,
Yes.
Trevor Warner,
Yes.
Mary White.
Yes.
5-0.
Next up would be ratify June 2023 bills. You should have a copy of them, and then when you guys are ready.
So how many days did you have remaining? A week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Would you have to get a water and sewer supply? Would you have to get a water and sewer supply?
Which time?
No, there's 2 on here, but it just says 6th Street project.
Probably, see, we had to get into the package, you know how stuff's hard to get. So we had to get in there and borrow stuff on water breaks over the period.
Oh, okay.
And we had to get stuff replaced. I don't remember exactly what it was, Trevor.
I just wasn't sure, like,
I think we borrowed 1 tap out of there. Maybe 1 meter horn. I'd have to back it up.
it's one in, you do a project like that, you're not gonna have it.
Yeah, and we had an alternative box, and we had a leak, and we didn't have the stuff to fix it. We had to break into our 6th Street project, just leave water flowing here.
make a motion to ratify the bills.
I'll second.
Michael Bender,
Yes.
Alderman Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Oakland,
Yes.
Trevor Warner,
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
Next up would be approved minutes from the June 12th meeting. Let me know if you guys have any changes. That you were at sent out to the sample, maybe that is personnel. I think you can expedite it, but maybe they did.
Because it will state in that.
I think so. Do you know anything else in the test? I'm sure it's safe, but it's just like, oh, that's that. We can follow up with them on CPMs. You guys got any changes? You do, no? Are you good? Yeah. Any motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 12th, 2023.
Second.
Michael Bender,
Yes.
Alderman Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Oakland,
Yes.
Trevor Warner,
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
We'll get Brad out of here. You want to go, Brad? Water, Brad's here to talk. Can we done with it? Yeah, you can stay there, whatever. How would you do, Brad? Whatever's comfortable for you. So, better sit. You guys have questions? I know last time we talked about, I think we talked about it 3 times. So, I think there were some questions. Brad's here now, so we can ask some questions. Hopefully we can get it worked out and maybe come to a solution this time.
So, what is the question? I mean, as far as, I know it brought up that didn't necessarily want to pay that or whatever. I mean, there's mentioned that there was an ordinance, there was no ordinance that said you did, if you needed to, the customer needed to, that there is. So, that's what, I don't know where we're at with it,
So were you looking for comment from me? Question?
We're trying to figure out what would be I think is what we're trying to find out. What is a resolution for you that is fair for all parties? That's what I think we're looking for, Brad. What is a fair solution for you, fair solution for the city, everybody around, or what you expect and what your expectations are? I guess that's what we're trying to figure out. Before, we've talked about it, like I said, a couple of times, but any of those couple of times we haven't had you here actually to see what you exactly
Yeah, I did.
So, and some of that was our fault too, Brad. I thought you knew about it and you didn't. So, basically that's what it comes down to.
Okay. One thing is it is a shocker to get that kind of a bill of mail. The timing was a bit striking, in as much as you know, the property had belonged to Bleeding Edge forever, and you know, when I get closed, all of a sudden we got to get a meter on it. That struck me odd. The precedents had seemingly already been set, and now we're changing that. From all the research that I had been able to do, Problematic part of it's all verbal, there's nothing that far back that's in writing. The agreement with the city, it was my understanding was that, when the original well was, for lack of better, granted to the city, that the, property holder wouldn't have a meter on the property. So, I mean, there's some precedents there, but again, that would be very difficult to prove at this point. Makes sense, but since it doesn't quite, you know, it just also struck me that strange that, met with this body a year and a half ago, and all the support in the world was pledged, and then I can't go. The support I was looking for, but it's what it is. So there's my comments. Questions to me?
Did you have the capability to do that manifold to tie on to the water system? In your shop, do you have that capability?
We could have, I mean, obviously that's not our specialty area, but I mean, it's plumbing, it's welding, metal, so, yeah, we probably could have done that, yeah.
So, and I'm not sure whether that's relevant because we didn't charge labor on the deal. We just charged for the parts. And the parts to do it, or the parts to do it.
I wasn't really sure why an industrial meter was needed. I thought perhaps there should have been some consultation there, but
I did look today, and there is an ordinance, I think, in front of me somewhere here, that says that it's up to the city to decide what goes in the building. But I didn't think which one that was, so.
Brad, so what do you think is a fair amount, Brad? What's a fair amount for you that you feel that you should pay for it? Maybe that
well, I mean,
there's got to be a meter in there, Brad, on that side of it. There has to be a meter, just the way, I mean, they didn't enforce it before, but it's metered water, like, we have all kinds of different repairs we have to report that to, so that, there has to be a meter there, that's not an option. I don't doubt that maybe there was some back-end agreement at one time, that wouldn't surprise me at all, but we have to have a meter in there, and we just really need to know, at the same time, we appreciate you being in our town. And we want to try to be happy, but I think it's going to be happy, you know, for all sides too, so that's.
The size was based on the fact that it's a commercial property, is where the size came from.
This is purely a comment. I grant you that apparently the city, it's at their full discretion of what meter goes in, but it would be my suggestion that in the future you consult with the land or property owner so that there is some shareholder involvement. But that's purely a suggestion. I mean, and the reason, partly why I say that is because it would seem, in what short time we had them metered, I use more water in my house than we do up there.
I believe that,
Yeah.
But I guess in the hindsight of the city, if they were going to put a meter in there, this is just thinking out loud here, that if the building owner sold water and decided to do some other venture that used a considerable amount of water,
Understood?
it is a big building to have. If
Absolutely.
I could play devil's advocate and argue that it'd be a really crazy, huge building to have residential meter, but for your purpose, Brad, I think you'd be fine.
Agree completely. The only, like I said, the only comment that I would have is perhaps some discussion prior to on sizing and cost would probably be beneficial in the future.
I think
That's just a suggestion from the chiefs. As far as how do we find some equitable common ground. Do you have any suggestions, any thoughts?
What is the city out? Just 20, 22.
It's in the minutes from last time.
Yeah. $2,220.51. So, I mean, the city is out that, and you just said you're not using that much water, so it would take a long time for us to recoup our funds based on that.
So,
I mean, I guess tell us what you think is fair, and we can either accept it or not.
of course, this is outside formal setting, but I've heard a number of different proposals from individuals. I don't know if that were, what was driving those. So I don't know.
I think
Has an idea?
I don't know, we haven't really discussed this, I mean, so, I mean, we discussed
Right, in
it,
the form
not
of
that you here, so. That's really, we're looking pretty. We're trying to keep Brett Sloan happy at the same time.
Well,
And do the right thing.
you'd be one of the first to worry about that, but, so you're 2,200.
I think when we talked about it last, Brad, it was 2,200 would give you a year, 12 months to pay. So to break down over your regular bill and you add on, that's what we thought would be sufficient at the time, right? And we took, originally it had labor on there, I think that was one of our, don't quote me exactly, but it was one of our initial discussions, we took the labor off there. Then this last one, I think we broke it down, we paid in 12 months.
I think, and again, don't quote me, but I think when you remove the labor, you were down to 16, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think 2,200 is what it was.
That's what we have in the
So what
minutes.
I think happened, Brad, so this is
I
part
haven't
of,
seen an actual bill.
this is part of the city's issue, is what happened, when you got a bill initially before the rest of the parts were installed. I think, so if you're saying 1,600, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Somehow there's miscommunication there. They've seen that invoice come across the desk and they billed you for it, but they were still waiting on some parts to get there, Brad, so.
Because I gotta be honest, I don't recall reading the 2,200 figure this is the first I've heard.
Do you have the invoice?
I'll have to find it. but I'll-
Let's find it real quick, Brad, so we don't know.
I know there was an invoice for around 1,200, but that's.
Seems like I remember the 12 figure as well, but it seems like the state only got a 16.
There was more.
But that's been a while back.
Mike, do you remember that? Did you ever see that?
No, we never got to that point in discussion.
When was that 1,200 or 2,200? I remember us talking about that.
Unless that's parts labor, I don't know. I honestly, we talked about it a couple times.
It says in the minutes, parts only, no labor, in the amount of.
2220.81.
Yep.
So-
Item 19 on last month's council meeting. I think the actual cost of the meter was $1,200 and the other $1,000 was the parts to put it in, the supplies to put it in.
That would seem right to me.
Sound.
Specific number to
Seems
not have.
That's not as cheap as what it should say.
Later sounds about right, but the pipe work was
But I don't deal with that stuff.
I haven't seen it, so
I haven't seen it either.
That's why I'm no idea.
Mike is in it, Mary's in it,
Which one?
the pipe work itself.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a picture of it?
I
much.
I mean,
I did
I'll
not.
probably criticize it, even if that's it.
You will.
There was a series of 3-inch elbows and nipples in there.
It's,
Yeah, it had to be a swing to fit in, is what it would be.
it's an interesting video.
So, according to this, 1268 for the meter. Says with accessories, it looks like it came with a couple of flanges, nipples, yada, yada, yada. Then there's additional 925 parts from Tri-County. Looks like a bunch of galvanized, 3-inch galvanized, 90, 3-inch nipple, high max. I think the original labor was, you know, that labor. I think it was 1,000 or something.
I didn't think we put any labor on.
No, but originally we did, remember?
The original thought was to do that, but
Well, I don't think that Bill ever had labor on it to begin with.
No.
I think we
We
just
talked
said-
about it, but we didn't, we first.
but I think 1,000 is what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So we knocked that off already.
We did send out a bill first for just the 1,600.
The prices in March are that's like, I would not see a picture of it, especially because I'm not sure that. All right, so the city's out $2,200 plus labor. We've knocked the labor off already, so what are we on?
Well, Mike makes a good point, and I hadn't really thought of this myself, but as far as the configuring of the 3-inch pipe and the procurement of the 3-inch pipe, I could have done that had I known, which would have made the market for all involved, perhaps saving me some expense as well. So I think there, I grant you, this is an unusual situation, not every situation will be like that. I think that's where perhaps some communications would have benefited both. At the end of the day, I think it's a safe bet to say that we're not going to come to terms that are going to 100% satisfy both parties involved. So if you're wanting me to throw out a figure, and it pains me, but in the air to put this behind us, if you want me to throw the first shot, let's meet in the middle of 1,100 and I'll pay it over the course of the year.
So nothing 51.
Well, I'm still, I mean, we still do have man hours involved in that. And you couldn't have gotten parts at a good price either because you had to pay tax on them. So, I mean, I realize that's,
I have site work on the rack, did it all the time. I've got business, we use it for a variety of things. So I don't know that I would concur completely with that statement, but that doesn't make a lot of difference.
Discussion.
I personally think that the city should control the like, in your case, it might have been okay, but I don't think that setting the precedence that having whoever the person in the building is, commercial or not, would be a good precedent to set that they could do their own install. I think the city should still maintain that.
I understand completely, and I'm not suggesting that you allow it to happen. I'm just saying in this case, I think communication and partnering could have benefited both sides.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And just to clarify, any infrastructure that's ever put in by anybody is always done, the digging is done by the contractor, the installation is done by the city, just so it's up to their par and so forth. So it would have been done like that if the city saying, we're going to, well, they all do that's 100%. So, if you guys are all right with that, or not all right with that, if we are, so we can move on, I'll need a motion for that. If not, more discussion.
We don't want to set a precedence of discounting everyone's parks, just for whatever reason.
I'll make a motion to split the cost of them. Material, 50/50. Let's round out.
Second.
With the year to date. With the year to date.
Michael Buffer,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Hill,
Yes.
Treasurer Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Watson.
Yes.
So we've agreed to split the bill in half.
So 11, 10, 41 is what it breaks down to. So by 11, 10, 41 broken out over 12 months.
Appreciate it. Glad to have this behind us and look forward to what we can work together in the future.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. I hate to leave you, but I have another meeting.
So that's what I'm going to board.
Thanks, you.
Thanks for having me. And just to clarify, I'm sure some of you guys know, some of you guys know, but, and I agree with the case by case, I don't want to get into habit ever doing it too much, but like, if you go and build a big subdivision, let's say in Rolla, at the same token, the city's going to come to you, you come in with them, you work out a proposal, so that's part of it, sometimes too, you got to give or take, so it's very standard.
Business here afterward.
We do use that system, so. Next up would be Bill 2023-0026, terminating the City Municipal Court. I think that's partly to do with the court clerk leaving, and the court does not make any process money up.
What was the loss this year?
What was the loss this year? 40,000, I think.
Well, year to date, it is,
Or if you're projected to eventually.
hang on a second.
Just not that joy.
Year to date, it's 31,000 and it's projected to be about 40.
We are the last fourth-class city in the Illinois Municipal Court of 23.
I feel what you're saying.
We're the last fourth-class city holding on to our municipal court in this county. They changed redaction rules for the court so that basically it takes me 3 times as much time to enter a ticket now as of July 1st as it did June 30th. So, and this all started with Senate Bill 5 with Ferguson 6 or 7 years ago, with statewide going from 700 and something down to 200 and something municipal courts.
So if we have a projected loss of 40,000, then does that mean that we will have a less cost situation for the operation of our judicial proceedings?
Right now, the laws require us to employ, if we have our own municipal court, we have to employ a court clerk. And if we eliminate our municipal court, our tickets, we still write our tickets, the police do, they give them me, but they're heard by an associate circuit judge over in Waynesville, at the courthouse, instead of here. So basically, we're eliminating the position of an entire employee for the city, which is the majority of the costs.
Is that cost?
Full-time.
Does the loss, does that equate into the income?
Yes,
Because they-
there's more
What I'm saying is, we also would be getting that income, not that.
We'll get some, right?
We still
It would actually be a bigger sum, is what I'm trying to
Yes.
get. Because you've got that loss figured in with the income also, so there's a positive added to that. So it actually, that's what we're gonna save for 40,000, but it's gonna show on paper saving 60 or whatever, but then
I think
we don't get the
I think
income
when
of 10,000.
I think when I projected it all, it was like 60 when I came up with it.
I mean, I didn't know the numbers would actually be.
That don't make sense, because my annual budget was like 48,000, so how can it be that much? And I can show where we've already brought in over 20,000 this year since last July. So,
So far, year to date, June 30th, I've received $11,800,
starting when?
October 1st.
The fiscal year.
Yeah, and then the year before that, we got 16,000, almost 17. Now, an anomaly in the year 2021, there was 31,000, almost 32, but that was making up for some prior years.
That was when we transferred the show report to the
That was when John Ward implemented the show me courts and they started receiving all the back pay. That was the only year that I've ever seen that the courts actually been profitable.
And there was also a problem with the city clerk at that time, that there was some money that had to be moved around because it wasn't put in the right place.
So, you know, I mean, if you think it's different, we can look at it, but we've gone one of the receipts.
No, I'm not arguing that it's a loss, but it's not supposed to be a money maker either. So.
Is it any cost moving into Waynesville?
Yes and no. I think that what the court costs are for the tickets are going to cost to the city directly, I guess, for the ticket versus us having a full-time employee that has advertised out or everything.
We just don't get the revenue from the tickets.
We still get a portion of it. When we have a ticket now, the big part of the problem, I mean, one of the many problems that they've done to make this just hard for us to keep the municipal court running is the Office of the State Courts Administrator has capped what we're allowed to fine people on tickets. So, I mean, whereas I think a speeding ticket in this town, every municipal court would range from $100 to $150 a few years ago. Now the maximum fine for the average speeding ticket of like 10 miles to 15 miles over is $90. The first $35.50 of that goes straight to Jeff City now anyway. So you're left with 50-something dollars in that ticket. And it's just...
And then out of that, you've got to pay the judicial education fund, you have to pay, that there's several other fees that come out of that before it ever comes to the city.
And I think what they do is they will have us pass an ordinance to slightly increase our court cost, but I think they have not the same limitations we do or we're allowed to cap our funds at, so they go up with the ticket cost, but
They fund it though out of the court cost of the ticket. We don't have to write a check every month to.
yes, we don't collect the money, we don't, they do. We still have to write the tickets, I still have to process and file the tickets. I will tell you, they made that much more difficult with some new redaction rules with a lot of unintended consequences. The governor's going to sign a bill that says driver's license numbers are confidential information and they're on every single ticket. That's been a public document for the last gazillion years since we've been electronic filing. So now instead of me just signing a ticket, I have to sign a ticket, make a redactable copy of the ticket, and create a document saying what I redacted from the ticket. So I mean, I'm not going to lie. By the time you guys are done with tickets and attorney's fees to prosecute a $90 speeding ticket, there's no dollars left. I mean, of course, not supposed to be a money maker, but there's certainly nearly amounts of money.
I will say that I don't see it as any other option that we have to do this.
Well, I will say that if the city chooses to do this, you will never get the court back if you ever want it. It won't happen.
It doesn't sound like the state wants us to have it.
Well, yeah, things change over time. And I think if you're watching what's going on around the nation, eventually it's going to turn around because people aren't going to put up with lawlessness forever. So,
I would like to agree with you, and it doesn't really matter, I guess, but either way, it's costing the city money, and we really need to save money if we can, because we have expenses can have very large ones.
well, everything costs the city money.
I mean, in actuality, this is going to have no impact on patrolling, ticketing, nothing like public safety, no impact on that.
My only thing, and I'm fine with it now because you are our city attorney, you're from here, and I kind of don't like the idea of one day you may not be around and it's some guy from Lebanon prosecuting all the city tickets because he's our municipal attorney. But beyond that, that's about my only complaint with it in the future possible.
You're not going to be prosecuting anything, right?
If we would lose court, they're still in
Yeah, we're
So
still,
as far as redacting and everything else, we're still going to have to do that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So that's not saving anything.
Doesn't make any.
So then, does the officers they have to go, if they're needed to testify, they go to, Waynesville, so they leave Dixon and go to Waynesville to do that?
We do that now anyway. We do that now anyway.
Okay.
Any felonies or crimes that they send over to certain court anyway, anything above. Municipal court is, traffic and everything that we see down here is pretty much just limited to a fine. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, the ones that we used to see that we would end up with people in jail over here, those are pretty much all over the county now anyway, so that we're not carrying a jail bill for people who already are paying their $8 tickets. But,
The only other question I want to ask is the 31,000 net loss, does that include any of the attorney fees that will stay?
Yes,
It does. So those, we need to take those out of the loss figure.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's showing, that's not the
We
actual loss.
charge some of his fee to the court, yes, we did.
and I am unique, I will tell you, because you guys get a hometown discount from me, and most cities have somebody that does their prosecution work and their civil advice work, draft ordinances and whatnot separately, and I can tell you, city of St. Robert.
This report is relating to
I'll make a motion for the second reading of Bill 2023-0026 by title only.
I'll second it.
Michael Bennett,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
No.
Stacy Yoakum,
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise,
Yes.
4-1.
an ordinance electing the city ordinance violations be heard by Putnam County Circuit Court and terminating the city municipal court.
I'll make a motion to approve Bill 2023-00.
I'll second.
Michael Bennett,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
No.
Stacy Yoakum,
Yes.
Trevor Morrow,
Yes.
Mary Wise,
Yes.
4-1.
Bill 2023-0027, that's our IT contract. You guys should have that in front of you. You guys are all right with
This
that?
is a 2-year contract.
Yes. And I believe we cleaned all that out.
7C gives you the have opt out if we don't want to.
If we're not happy with the service, we might have to do this.
At any time, writing and signing.
So, okay, essentially, is this just, what is this, like a monthly thing paying? I think it was.
No, it's got a schedule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought we were just, what is it?
Do we have a threshold for competitive bidding?
Typically, you put it on the paper or so forth on that, you know, that's what you're request for bids.
Do we have a dollar amount for threshold for competitive bidding?
Oh, well, it's, yeah, there's several thousands. There's certain services you're required to, but this is one of them. There's certain services you're required to, certain purchases.
There's something that was like 3,500 was the cutoff. I don't remember.
And it was like a common league or something like that, I think we've had to, but not on this particular service.
And so as a part of this, do we have a protection for the confidentiality of customer?
They have to be bonded and, because of the police, they have to be,
What's he gonna do?
You have to go through a background check and sign a disclosure to not divulging information.
I'm not talking about bid, I'm talking about, does this service help us protect that information
Yes.
of the customers, whatever?
That's part of his monitoring section on there and antivirus, malware and stuff.
Unfortunately, some of that information is public information.
Yeah, I understand.
At this point, I think there's actually discussion to, make water and sewer information private, but it's not there yet.
Okay.
They're changing privacy laws on them now. It's, we're going out trying to keep up with it, but I know the Florida's everything.
I'm coming home, thank you.
Also, as long as the PD and admin are.
That's good, then this is the information on that. I have
You worked with him before, right?
Yes, he was here today, almost, most of the day, trying to get us back up.
He's been by far, so far, not one of the easiest one we've dealt with. We went through 4.
That's all I'm saying, like, it's kind of up to you guys to get it works.
He has worked at a bank before he's done this, so he's not new to this.
I mean, and he's very cost effective. I mean, to be very clear, it's $215. I mean,
Well, and he has another city, right?
yeah, he does other cities. I know for sure he does my area. I think he may do Rocker too.
So he's familiar with it.
Just to be clear, like, before we have somebody come down for an hour, we're gonna charge the whole thing for an hour, I mean, for a month,
How long here, what is this?
yeah.
This one's been hanging too, right? Both of them.
Yes.
I make a motion for the first reading by title only, bill 2023-0027.
Sorry.
Michael Hunter,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Yoakum,
Yes.
Trevor Warner,
Yes.
Mary Wise,
Yes.
5-0.
Ordinance authorizing Mayor of Dixon to enter into a contract with Bridgetop Internet LLC on behalf of the second.
I'll make a motion for a second reading of bill number 2023-0027 by title only. I'll second it.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Yokel.
Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
5-0.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of Dixon to enter into a contract with Rich Top Internet LC on behalf of the city. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve Bill 2023-0027. I'll second that.
Michael Gunther.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Yokel.
Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
5-0.
I'll leave Mark Mitchell's here, so let's get, next would be the lead line agreements. You guys should have those. All those in there.
For the,
I did copy them though, I sent them to you a couple times.
I'll let you know.
Basically, it's the same dollar amount we need to choose if we want to go with our terminate Bennington or what was the name of it?
Ben's and Associates, Todd Government.
I spoke with Paul, we had a group meeting with Todd, I mean, multiple people, whatever you guys really choose on that one, so. Yeah, it's a grant.
One cost. Nothing stood out in the ones.
It seemed to me that we had a 23-page proposal with about 3 pages of substance and about 25 pages fluff. And then we had another one that was 28 pages and it basically said, give us some money and we'll take care of the problem. It seems to me that if we're comfortable with those folks, that we have a relationship with the city already with those folks, that it probably be in our best interest to continue to do it. Yeah, that works.
So that's what you want to do, obviously, in the
Make a motion to accept the proposal of Archer Elden for the lead line.
I'll second that.
Hold on a minute. Archer Elgin, you was up there.
Yeah.
Andrea and Anthony, right?
Yes.
Michael Gunther.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Yokel.
Yeah. Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
5-0.
Next up would be, I guess they need our approval to nominate Troy Porter for the Ozark River Solid Waste Management
Yeah,
District.
I heard him Troy today. He basically said that they want Charles, I didn't even know this was. He said that Charles is going to be the Pulaski County representative. They're going to be Dixon.
That makes sense.
And
Is
he's
he
the
on
only
it?
thing he's going to I bring him to the post office, so I was just asking. And he said it's.
So if you guys are all right with that, I'll get a motion to nominate Troy Porter to the Ozark River Solid Waste Management District.
So, I said so moved.
I think it's sold.
So you need a second.
I need a second now.
Second.
Okay. Michael Gunther.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell. Anthony.
Yes.
Stacy Yokel.
Yes.
Trevor Warner.
Yes.
Mary Wise.
Yes.
Pass 5-0, is that right?
What's that?
Pass 5-0.
Yes, sorry.
Handheld device. So the handheld devices are one meter read device. Pat, can you give us a little background? The wand, the magic wand for the water reading.
They give us some trouble this last time. Shane's more familiar with it than me. But it locked up and we got a day behind on reading because of it. But it did say, which Fraser's got to start over. They had like 500 reads done. But they got on, Avery got on the phone with somebody and ended up saying it, but I don't know,
We had trouble periodically,
yeah.
and the equipment is very old.
So I want to, one thing I would like to, because of what Kelly told me earlier, it just, I want to be with Avery, said something about it once before. Is there any other sources for us?
There could be, we haven't looked into it. This guy has the software, you know, he's programmed.
He's one that made it.
Made, yeah.
He's the developer of the
Yeah.
software, so that's the thing.
I just, when we were very hard to deal with, so.
He's an IT guy.
When we were looking for a battery, like 2 years ago or something, whenever the battery got bad. He's the one who had it. I mean, we searched all over, and that's the place we're trying to get a battery from. I mean, we can look at other places, but it's something that's gonna have to be done in the near future. We talked about this, I think, how long I've been around the city, but this was back when we were over there, we were dealing with the same.
Yeah.
We've dealt with this 4 years ago.
Two clerks ago, we were having a problem.
Yeah, we just never
When I first
fixed it.
started.
We just keep handling it, and I mean, the ideal solution, like we talked about before the meeting started, would be the app where they drive around and it reads Bluetooth and great, but that's $200,000 too, and obviously with our sewer project, we can't afford that, so.
Does that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No,
Does that mean we have to take all the meters out of that? Is that a whole different?
if we went to Bluetooth, yes, you have to at least the tops of them.
The top.
So ideally, you drive a truck around, it's got a transducer, you drive it around, it picks up, it'll tell you what it does, until correct.
It depends on the meter.
Yeah.
They have to, it's called an ERC, is what's on the top, what you read. It just depends on the meter, if it matches up with your soft, I mean, it's a headache. Waynesville had a huge problem.
So let me ask you this, that what you told us earlier, that they were, you said 2 something a meter, 3 something, basically 300 a meter.
300.
Did that was meter and all though?
It's not software,
that's-
transmitter.
That's just the meter.
No, I'm saying though, that was not just tops.
Yeah, you gotta buy the ERCs, you gotta buy the meter, so it's around $500 a meter.
Okay.
For one location.
Right. I didn't know if it was what you told us was like just the tops or just the meter, or including the meter.
That's just the meter, just the meter.
I didn't know if it was something you just buy tops, maybe a little bit cheaper than that or something.
They just have to, you gotta match them up, and it's a headache these days to do that.
We've got it down, we got it, we're still doing it, study style, but it takes, what, 2 days, Pat, or that?
It takes 2 days to read them. So.
2 guys,
And
4 days a year, but that could be doing something else.
So I will agree with that, it's just
I mean, is it-
cost effective, it doesn't make sense.
Well, we still need them to go around and drive around.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do an upgrade plan and do like a ward a year or something like that, and
Check with the large cities, as they're changing out, they've got all their old stuff to get rid of. And they're willing to make deals. That's what our gas company used to do when we took all our gas stuff out, we'd sell it to other companies that were smaller than
St.
that.
Louis done the one survey test.
It was before my time here, but then that would come up with this one out schedule.
I think that's how they got the meters, you would know that.
Yeah.
I know that before my time, I just know they had trash cans full of meters.
They spent 23 million.
I don't know the details about that.
They bought 200 of them.
We'll find some of those parts of the
Do you have a trimmer? Huh?
Do you have a trimmer?
You trying to give me out of time? Let me go get the charts. Oh, heck yeah, I'll do that.
All right, do you guys want to order another one? Do you guys want to see another?
Is this just for one?
That's what I'm dealing with. They probably for glad.
No.
Is this all, is this like, is this
No, two, I need two.
Two?
Hey.
Is this our, is this our option? Okay, it's got to be all. Well, if we have 2 people.
They're doing it right.
The system we have.
Because right now, there's a 2 guys going, what if they only want one drive, one goes out?
That's not what's in the truck line.
That's why
Just one, I usually just see Shane walking in mine.
Darren usually follows around the lawn.
Yeah, somebody's driving the,
Pat, do you need one or two? Can we get away with one? Are they actually, if we buy two, are they actually gonna use two, or are they gonna do what they do now?
They usually just shoot one now, I mean.
So, there you go, that's it. 38, 09, 25.
But if it's as simple as driving by, I don't see why, I mean, what, does it take two people? I would think one guy, right?
Typically, what they do is they get into side by side, and one drives around, and one gets to have reason.
But I mean, what I'm saying with the new system, if they went to the new,
We can't afford to make.
okay, I'm sorry, I was dealing with this water crown thing, that's what I was texting.
You wouldn't give us the loan pad.
Yeah.
I mean, how many meters do we have at our place?
625,
6.4.
It's like in the $300,000.
So, do you want to approve one?
Grant for that, maybe.
No, we probably could. At one time, we tried that, but that was in the time where they all told us we could get grants.
We have two now. If one doesn't work, you've got a backup. So you can go to one or you can do.
Are you sure that they're both in working order?
I don't know that they are, but.
Ever since I know they're going to
So, do we have to get, so we have two.
There's two hanging up there.
I mean, can we get one and
That's what
still
we're-
have
yeah,
those
have
as
it.
backup?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what?
I don't know that it can be because of the programming of the handheld.
So we're saying we have to reprogram to the
Yeah,
next
you
one.
might, and maybe you could reprogram it. I don't know, we didn't ask him.
And to me, it doesn't read like it's the exact same thing because he's charging you for a day of on-site training to come out and teach you how to use whatever new thing he's trying to sell you.
Now, that's what I don't know about it. $13
If you're just replacing something you already got, why don't you need the training?
I think.
I need to learn what he does.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, well,
develop software for the city, you'll be alright.
Training for $1,300.
So should we get
We can talk to him about this.
Let's feel him out and see what he thinks, we can pivot to next ones, all right, you guys?
Yeah, I'm really taking this.
We'll get some answers, then maybe you guys can check, make sure there's not a better deal out there too, so. You good pitching some money too?
No, I just was wondering what happened to the days when we were at our own meters. So I was wondering.
Trust.
You know how many times we
Yeah, that's what he said.
things
How you
story around the meter, so electric and water.
I'm gonna say, you might be the only one in your neighborhood who could let them do it. I probably shouldn't have said that.
That's crazy.
Next up would be budget, anybody want to say about the car shop?
We're gonna have to start in for next year soon, so.
Can we do like August something, do that?
We have workshop and all this.
August 2nd or something like that.
We've got a week two, at least two workshops.
Tuesday,
Probably, yeah.
we'll do first.
So starting off Wednesday.
Yeah, it's in the August 2nd. Business license, Bark and Park Dog Groomer, RK Roofing, Scott's Excavating and Construction, Under Person's Care. Who's wants to use?
Yeah, approved anyway, so it's not.
No. good. Sure.
Yeah, they were.
I need a motion to approve business licenses.
I'll make a motion to approve the business licenses. Licenses.
There's four, right?
I'll second.
Yes, 4.
Michael Guthrie,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Yocum,
Yes.
Trevor Warren,
Yes.
Mary Wise,
Yes.
5-0.
Next up would be Elizabeth Berry. We made it very clear, she's asked to be on the agenda 3 times, we put her on the agenda 3 times, but this time, if she didn't show up, I will not put her on there again, so. She's complaining about the water bill over here at the apartments. We're cleaning the apartments, and she didn't think she should have to pay the, apartments. Those old firms. She didn't think she should have to pay the water bill, why she was cleaning. I explained to her, because she's been cleaning for 2 months. If she wanted to, she could turn the water off, and she decided, okay, she wanted to, she'd come back down here. It's because it's old complex, and so when they told her to shut the water off, you come down here and turn it off for a day, we'll go ahead and do that for you. I guess that wasn't good enough, I don't know the details of it. So. But she has to be here 3 times, and 3 times she hasn't shown, so.
Okay.
Dixon Manor, they don't have a referee here, so. Library, at least she's not here. Police.
I can tell you a little bit
Oh, sorry.
for Lacey. She's having a book sale with Scholastic from the 10th to the 21st. Today was the first day, and she had a really good day, so she's very optimistic. She gets 25% of the proceeds from what she sells. So she's really done a great job down at the library.
Make sure you guys go visit her, watch some books.
I'm looking at that, believe it or not. I want to see what the art teacher is.
Police update.
We got 334 calls this month, 15 agency assists, of course, those went up. We've had 5 break-ins, 16 disturbances at the same location.
How many?
16, several of those are at the same location.
When does that become an issue we can address?
After the second one.
Okay.
All the rest of it is, we had 3 unwanted persons, a lot of phone calls, a lot of information. 4th of July went great, and had no issues. I did a little work to one of the cars, but it's running. Other than that, we're getting our network set up, fixed, and then we've got ordered parts for it to get it back up to where it should be. So, other than that, we're doing pretty good.
You have a number of citations that will be referred for disposition in court.
I don't have it with me here now.
Questions, concerns?
The only thing I thought of was, he was asking me, Marshall, he always put in the paper, wouldn't mention shoot fireworks all along there. And this year it's like every night for several nights after.
I think we should put it in the paper, Trevor. Was that?
Was it? Okay, I didn't say,
Go in the paper, like we put online, I think we shared it and they shared it on the page.
Okay.
People were just. Yeah. Especially over by the horse.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they didn't shoot them off. My dog will testify to that.
Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, go out.
Do you have any more questions for Chief? Questions, concerns? Mr. Ray, it's your time to shine.
6th Street, everybody's up to the new water except one house, waiting on parts. They shipped them to New Haven, Missouri, instead of Dixon. I don't know how they got that mixed up. But Columbia Water and Sewer. And, they are personally bringing them tomorrow. So I gotta have them. Wait on. And, anyway, that fire hydrant line for Lynn Andrews, they're bringing it also. We've got it dug up so we can see how deep one we need it.
Is that what was leaking underneath it?
Not sure, but they have somewhere in the past put a circle clamp around the pipe. Probably was that circle clamp. What we're gonna do to try to save the money of the hydrant, which we need hydrants all over town. So we're gonna need it somewhere, but we're gonna replace the pipe first and see if it leaks. If it does, then we'll put a hydrant in. But we're gonna try to use that hydrant.
Okay.
But because they're 2,700 or something, you know, so. But anyway, that's where we're at there, and then we'll have this next year or two. Then we're gonna, the 6th Street, we're not gonna concrete it for a while, I want them to drive on it, back that rock good and stuff before we do it.
Maybe let it rain once or twice. Concrete.
That's what we're doing.
It was concrete around October, so.
Do what?
October's a good time.
What month?
October.
No, I'm gonna do it before October, because the money's already on the.
For sure. Cooler it gets, the better.
Yeah, oh, you're right.
I'm gonna just schedule it for September 30th and then, oops. I'm just telling you, I was born in September, I didn't have to.
Pretty cool.
Nothing more, the motion to go, give them 5 minutes to get out, go.
One more question.
Oh,
How do you, speaking of child over in our neighborhood now, the first child in our neighborhood for a long time, how do you get a sign put up for like, because we have a speeding sign over there for like child at play, or, because they zoom down our road, I mean.
we have extras down there.
We may have some.
We have one, we'll put one down there, we'll check.
If not, but I may,
We have, I think we have one of those.
I kind of
They
think.
try to keep him away from the road, but he's 7, you know, if he's got a ball that goes out in the road or something.
You can remote control cars, but it works.
What's the address where he's at?
Right, we're 505, so I think it's 502. 502.
Right across the street from us. And there's other kids right down the street from us that play out in the yard, and people just fly through there and throw gravel at them.
All the McDonald's, maybe, I may have some.
Yeah, maybe.
I've addressed that a couple of times.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want me to try to get license plates and send them in to you guys? Because they fly down the road, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's quite a lot of sure.
You want me to put a big speed bump?
Oh, we got enough of those.
Big speed bump.
Start for a minute.
Hey, I'll be honest, that giant bottle on the by, it sure slowed people down. You fill it in, and people are like, whoa.
I'm moving to go to closed session.
I'll second that.
Mike Gunther,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Noble,
Yes.
Trevor Warner,
Yes.
Mary Wyatt.
Yes.
5:15, closed session.